Hey guys, and welcome back to another tips and tricks video for Friday the 13th. I based this video off of Tommy86's video, but I'm giving my own views and opinions on it. If you haven't already heard of Tommy86's work, I highly recommend checking out his work over on his channel. He has a lot of great videos and I left his links down in the description below. In this video I run you through the different ways of breaking down doors, showing you the least effective way to the most effective way. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. When people are new to the game, this is generally how people start out breaking the doors down. They go up to the door and they press the R2 trigger over and over to break the door down. This is one of the slowest and most tedious ways of breaking the doors down, and I don't recommend it. There's another big disadvantage of breaking down the door this way, and I'll show you what that is later on in this video. Here's another method of breaking the door down. You go up to the door and you hold the R2 trigger, and Jason will continuously swing his weapon to break the door down. The nice thing about this method is you can turn your camera around and watch your back to make sure no one is sneaking up behind you to hit you. Again, it's not the fastest way to break the door down, and there's a disadvantage of using this method that I'll show in the next clip. So here's the disadvantage of using the R2 trigger method. If you've ever walked right up to the door really close as Jason and pressed the R2 trigger, you'll notice it pushes Jason back a little and places him into a fixed position for the animation to begin. With this fixed position, there's enough spacing between Jason and the door for the counselor to run right out the door on the final blow to the door, and it leaves Jason vulnerable to attacks. Here's just another example for you guys to check out. That fixed position that Jason is placed in when using the R2 trigger really leaves you vulnerable, as you can see in these clips. And the R2 trigger method is overall just a subpar way of breaking down the doors, in my opinion.
You like that, asshole?
Now for our information segment. You're going to need to know the difference between heavy attack and light attack. Well, in combat stance, a heavy attack will be an overhead swing. A light attack will be a swing from your side. To do a heavy attack, you press your R2 trigger all the way down. To do a light attack, you gently tap your R2 trigger. It was brought to my attention that some people find the gentle tap method for light attack difficult. Some people prefer rolling the tip of the trigger to do a light attack, or gently pulling the tip of the trigger. You'll just have to experiment and figure out what method works best for you. Here's the way you'll find most people break down the doors. They enter into combat stance by pressing their right analog stick in. Then they press their R2 trigger over and over again to break the door down. It's a fast and reliable way of breaking the door down. I definitely recommend this method, but again, it's not the fastest method. This method you use all light attacks to break the door down. It's a little quicker than just heavy attack, but not by much really. It also has a disadvantage that I'll show you later on in this video. I enjoy this method. It's a fun way to break down the door, but like I said, it has its disadvantages. Here you'll see a side-by-side comparison. Heavy attacks on the left and light attacks on the right. Light attack wins, but not by much at all really, which I found disappointing because I had hoped that light attacks would be a lot faster, but it's not really. Here's the disadvantage of using combat stance and light attacks. The issue with just using light attacks to break down the door is that your blade can occasionally get stuck in the door frame like you see in this clip. Your goal when breaking down doors should always be to be consistent. That's why this method can be troublesome sometimes. Here's another method to using light attacks. You go up to the door and you enter into combat stance, and then you turn to your side. If you do it this way, your blade will never get stuck in the door frame, but it can feel a little awkward at first breaking the door down this way, but you'll get used to it. Here's my personal favorite method of breaking doors down. It's a combination of heavy attacks and light attacks. Doing my own side-by-side comparisons, I believe this is the fastest method of breaking doors down. So here's a side-by-side comparison. Heavy attacks on the left side and a combination of heavy attacks and light attacks on the right side. You'll see heavy attacks and light attacks is the clear winner. Here's another side-by-side comparison. Light attacks on the left and a combination of heavy attacks and light attacks on the right. Heavy attacks and light attacks wins, but not by much. Me personally, I find it fun to use these different methods of breaking the door down, and I find using light attack on doors a lot more satisfying. But if you're looking for consistency, I would always go with combat stance with heavy attacks, as it's the most reliable and it's almost as fast as the other methods. Hey guys, here are just some extra examples of the wedge shift technique being used. I thought it might be helpful to see some more examples. I'm not going to do much commentary over this because it's pretty straightforward, but I'll pop in every now and again. When you use the wedge shift on the car, you want to turn on your sense so you can see the counselor in red through the car's hood so you know where they are.
Jason, my boy, do you know what your gift is? They want to take you from me, Jason. Don't let them.
I'm guessing this person knew about the wedge shift technique because they didn't react at all and tried to wait out my wedge shift. If this ever happens to you, hold R1 and pull back on your left analog stick and you'll be able to pull out of your wedge shift and go towards them. Again, here are just some more examples for you guys to check out of the stock plus VHS static technique. So I enter the room and turn on my stock right away to give him the VHS static and hopefully trick him into thinking I'm shifting towards him. It works and fools him into putting his gun away, and then he tries to pull the gun back out again, but it's too late and I get the grab. I recommend using running Jasons with this technique because they can close the distance faster. The counselor aims their weapon at me and I use the tree as cover and turn on stock to give them the VHS static. They panic and miss their shot completely. I did an in-tight shift on this player just a few seconds ago and missed the grab. This can be a good thing though. They now know I'm willing to go for an in-tight shift grab on them and will most likely react quickly next time they see the VHS static. This time instead of using shift, we turn on stock to give them the VHS static and whoops, they reacted fast and made the mistake of running right into us.
They want to hurt you, Jason. Don't let them.
When a counselor is baiting you to go for the grab like you see here in this clip, it's a great opportunity to use your VHS static because they're in close and only have a split second to react, and sometimes they'll run right into you. As always, thanks for checking out my videos, and if you're new to my channel, subscribe to stay up to date with new tips and tricks videos like this one. Also, you guys should definitely check out Tommy86's videos. I put his links down in the description below. Thanks again, and see you on the next one.